Hey everybody. So today we're going to talk about inpainting. When it comes to my clients and potential clients, the I'd say like in the top three as far as requests that I get, as far as like how does it work, what are the limitations of it, how do you do it, etc., are all around inpainting. So let's talk about that. Inpainting up until like I'd say the end of last year was a different ballpark and a different playground, right? It was a lot harder to do these things and a lot harder to control these things. And I'll get into that when I dive deeper into kind of the academic aspect of it. But very simplistically, now we can utilize and do inpainting across modalities, and it's like fairly simple and easy to set up. Like it went from like one of the hardest things to do as far as like AI on the back end, generative AI on the back end, to one of the easiest things to like really set up. It's just like pick your model and go through and make sure that it's tuned for your specific use case, and then that's basically it, right? And then again, it's across modalities, and then so you can utilize inpainting for audio, for images, for video. It's really all just what it is at this point, because it's all like again, I'll get into it, but BERT is like the BERT models released by Google in 2017 are still like running strong. I think like the BERT models when it comes to AI will be the future equivalent of COBOL. Like they'll be somewhere, some factory, somewhere in like 30 years from now, someone's going to stumble upon them and they're going to just be like 100% supported by BERT models, and it'll be like exactly like the COBOL situation today. Like because it's BERT is just so universal, right? And it's funny because there's so much that outclasses BERT at this point, and so many better models overall, but it's just like as far as like universal access, like ease of it, etc. Like BERT's number one, right? And so I'll talk about that again when I dive deeper into the academic side. But let's start off with like a few like actual examples, right? Like what does inpainting actually look like? Because I think that's the best place to start. And then so I'll start with audio, and then so this is a very famous speech. You should recognize this immediately.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Cool. So just like you know, I'm starting with the original audio clip. Like I haven't done any modifications to this original audio whatsoever. So that's the original audio. And then all I'm doing is just like I literally just upload the original audio, and then I put my text that I want to change it to.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is not subscribing to Richard Aragon's YouTube channel itself.
And so there it is. Like it's that easy, right? So in this instance, I'm just taking audio and then I'm inpainting audio, and then so inpainting is like so. As you can see from this demonstration, taking it like an existing medium modality, and then like a speech or a artifact within that specific modality, and then changing something, inpainting something about that within that artifact, right? So the next one I'll do is I'll show you with image, right? So I took this image here, and then it's like so this person just holding this trophy, right? And then with inpainting here, essentially I just went through, I uploaded the image, and then as you can see, I went through and then I used the draw button and I just drew out, like I took out the trophy, right? So I just deleted the trophy, and I said the person is holding a can of soda, and then that's it, right? And then here we go. The person is now holding a can of soda, and then so this is the image, like, and then so again, this is the original image I took it from, right? This is the one, and then. Now here he is holding a can of soda. Ooh, no more of this, right? And then just this. Not that hard to do. Just you know, like a few seconds and a few prompts and understanding how to do inpainting, and then like understanding how inpainting works on the back end, right? And then so you can do this at this point again. Image, audio, video, etc. Like everything that you see, like you see like a lot of the like talking heads, the talking avatars, all of that. That's all like inpainting, right? Anything that is commercialized around this entire process is inpainting. And then like the bottom line with that commercialization is that like so everyone on the planet can like do this Inpainting on all of these modalities now, and I think that's what people don't understand, right? The ease of this. Again, before the end of last year, it was a lot harder to do this. There's a lot more involvement within this overall, but like this, so this particular research paper is kind of like the big breakthrough here. And then so it's called Simple and Effective Mass Diffusion Language Models, and it came out on November 10th, 2024, and put out by Cornell Cornell University. And then very specifically, they just essentially, up until this point, mask diffusion was kind of like poo-pooed as a method, right? And then mass diffusion is very straightforward. So reverse diffusion is like a simple process. You're just essentially like feeding forward, and it's denoising, right? And then it's denoising from a starting off with pure noise, and then you erase it down to whatever the image is, and then it's trained in order to do that based off of forward diffusion, where it's you start off with the image and then you noise it, right? And then so just does that in reverse. Whereas so with masking, what you do is you just cut out or you give a highlight and you draw on like a specific portion or image of like a specific portion of the image, and then you like mask that out, right? So that becomes like it gives a like a prompt through an encoder via the diffusion process. And then so I mentioned BERT, and I talked a lot about BERT at the top here, right? And then so that's because that's where that encoder comes in. So then what this paper illustrates is that as simple mass diffusion models, that it's very easy in order to make these mass diffusion models and in order to get them to work. And then how exactly do they do that? They use BERT models. And then they just essentially like show, this paper showcases that like you can take your simple BERT model, which is like a transformer model originally built to be an LLM, etc., like a text-to-speech, natural language processing, and then with a few modifications, you can make it a mass diffusion model, just like that, right? And then so you take this transformer model, and then it becomes a mass diffusion language model, and then that's kind of like you just essentially plug in this mathematical equation here. Like so, I mean, it's not. Overall, it's hugely simplistic, but it's I mean, it's just one equation, right? You just add one equation to the mix, and then thus our work establishes a connection between generative diffusion models and encoder-only BERT models. Our objective enables principled selection of a randomized masking rate, and it also endows BERT-style models with principled generation capabilities. So essentially, you can turn a BERT-style encoder directly into a diffusion model, and so diffusion language models, and it's just that easy to do, right? And then you just essentially add that mathematical equation, add some training on top of it, and there you go. And then they ran a bunch of experiments to prove this out, prove the efficiency, prove exactly how well it would score, like, and then they created essentially like diffusion BERT, all of these things, and then they figured out like, okay, we can actually do this, right? Like, so before this, there was people that had like tried out some of these methods and some of this, but they it was thought that it would be like far harder to do this. Like it would be far harder to control the diffusion process overall. But essentially, you're just kicking it over to the LLM model. You're kicking it to the encoder, right? And then the encoder is meant to predict anyway. So that's what it does. It's like I've made a lot of videos and a few different videos on my channel now where I do like, and I utilize like swarm algorithms for diffusion and things like that. And then so that's to me the same process within this, right? Like the encoder is simulating the diffusion process, and then it's predicting based off of that simulated diffusion process. And then there's just nothing that prevents you from being able to do that if you understand the logic behind that and how that works, and you go through that. So then being able to utilize like encoders as like diffusion predictors is kind of just the next logical step from there. And then they just proved it out again at the, like towards the end of last year that you can do it. And so it's been like 6 months now, 7 months that we've been able to roll with this, and then you've been able to see. So all of the things that you've been seeing with regards towards tighter precision of video editing, more fusion of the modalities, etc. All of that, like, I mean, it kind of goes back to this, right? This breakthrough, and then figuring out, okay, there is actually something to this mass diffusion process. And then not only is there something to this mass diffusion process, but you can actually literally just use BERT models and BERT encoders, and then switch and change them to diffusion models, which is also a lot more effective overall than your standard diffusion model. Like, so your standard diffusion model, like, is very big compared to a BERT model, right? BERT is known for, like, that's why it's utilized, right, for its efficiency and small number of parameters compared to other models, etc. And then, like, your typical, like, the diffusion model that I went over earlier, that WAN 2.1, that's on the high end, it's like 14 billion parameters, which is not small, right? And then so BERT is less than 1 billion, so it's you like less than 500 million in most instances. So you get like a lot of good performance out of BERT for what it does in comparison to the number of parameters and then the architecture that you need overall. So there's a lot of advantages, and why people go towards BERT, and why BERT will be like the AI COBOL in the end, right? Like BERT will survive it all just because it's so easy to go through and then do this. And then just again, coming back to this multimodality, as the last part, just highlighting it, that it doesn't matter the modality overall that you do this in. It's image, text, etc. It's all just diffusion, and then so it's all an encoder. It's all boiling back to the same thing, right? It all just like all of it is once like a, you don't need like anything extraneous to it. You can just like here's the two tools that you need, and they work, and they'll do the job for you. Diffusion plus encoder really will do a lot overall, and then it's just pretty much like a bunch of bells and whistles and bubblegum and duct tape really on top of that. And then, but so here we are overall. This is kind of just a general overview of regards towards Inpainting, right? Again, this is the most requested concept, the general business sense that I get from people. They want to utilize and like have models generate images, but then they want to, of course, have their own like branding and etc. attached to it. So they very much want to like Inpaint exactly what I demonstrated here, right? Like have it say what they want to say, look how they want it to look, change certain aspects about it overall, and then within that, that's all just Inpainting. And then if this video were 6 months ago, all of that would be very hard to do and kind of disparate. Now, as it currently stands in the middle of 2025, it is very easy overall to do. That's something that you can do. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it, how to play with these models, and then how to set these models up. And then once you have them up and running, it's really just a matter of go from there, right? There's not a huge amount of upkeep. It's like just hardware maintenance or inference, whatever you're utilizing on that end, and however you want to set that up. And then those are kind of just the upfront questions that you have to go through. And then once you are past that aspect, then it's just all a breeze from there, right? So if you need help with that, feel free to reach out. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.